welcome to episode 42 of The Worst Talk Show. I'm Angie C. This is handsome boyfriend Dave, who's extra handsome tonight, now that he's brushed his hair back. You're doing the whole art student thing when your hair falls in your face, and it's not my jam.
I like to keep it, I don't know, versatile.
Is that what it is? Is it versatility?
I'm very versatile.
All right. Okay. We get that. Episode 42, also my sister's number in high school and Salem State College basketball.
Well, that's great. Wrap it up.
42, we love you. Sam Avola, first on the list tonight.
And first in our hearts.
Mm-hmm. Sam Avola, you are going to be tackled within an inch of your life.
Oh, bro. Once this arm heals up.
What are we, like 4.5 weeks now? To the soiree, to end all soirees?
No, it's way less than that.
Is it less than that now? How much time, Sam? I think it's
all right. It might
got to be 3 or 4 weeks. Hey, Smitty.
Here. Howdy.
Smitty, we recorded, as you know, a couple of intros already for the virtual Atomic Fez fundraiser, and we didn't break up, which is great.
It was close.
It was close. Those things are not easy for us to do.
Inch butt is still healing.
Oh my God. Good. What?
Holly Cantor.
Really? All right, can we tell everybody that you punched me in the butt?
Yeah, but it was my left hand.
It was still really hard and it left a bruise.
Well, it left a mark.
Yeah, it hurts. My left cheek hurts. Thanks. I mean, I may have put my butt in his face like a na thing, but really, is that a license to punch?
Actually, that is. If you look up in the bylaws of the Worst Talk Show, it is grounds for punching in the butt. 3
weeks from Saturday, Sam. Oh my goodness. I feel like we might have to record a little footage to then play on that next week's show.
Footage?
Before everybody gets, insane.
Like cinema verite?
Yeah, something like that. You'll see.
Hey, congratulations, Mike Maloney. You had one of your kids graduate from college, I guess.
Oh, really?
Like yesterday.
Nobody likes to show off, Mike Maloney.
Yeah.
Holly Cantor, I'm so ready to come meet you for a walk on Revere Beach. Let's do this. I keep forgetting to mention that. I'm trying to walk pretty much every beach.
Right. Yeah, you kind of are.
I know.
You're a beach walker.
I am a beach walker. I'm a beach walker.
Every day.
I like to walk the beaches. Waiting for Nikki T to arrive because we got some back and forth to do about
what's that all
one
about?
of my new favorite Netflix
is that
shows.
Tete-a-tete? Is that what you call back and forth?
Tete-a-tete, yeah.
Yes.
Holly says yes, let's do it. Excellent.
Holly's buying the roast beef sandwiches, I heard, at Kelly's after.
Yes, I'll have exactly one bite.
I'll have the rest.
I wanted to show off one of my Mother's Day presents from daughter Kendall. Little give him a rope t-shirt.
That is a Clash t-shirt. Clash is a very important group from the late 70s through the 80s.
So
children.
I do actually have a little story about that. We went into Newbury Comics and we didn't know that there was an extra special going on in the sale, in the clearance.
You and Kendall.
Yes. And this very nice clerk salesperson said, hey, by the way, if you buy 2 t-shirts from this, if they have an orange sticker, you get one free. Buy 2, get 1 free. I was like, that's awesome. So he ended up being the one that rang us up as well. And so we were having a nice little back and forth, a little rapport, if you will. And he's looking at the Clash shirts and he's like, man, I got really bummed that these are going in clearance. I mean, it's the Clash. And I look at him and I go, yeah, the only band that matters. And he goes, well, there's a couple other bands. And the other 2 clerks started laughing. And then I started laughing. And I was like, that was actually their slogan.
Do you remember when the kids who worked at Newbury, now they were adults back when I was younger, right? They were so cool. They were edgy and they worked at Newbury Comics. And now.
Well, I mean, you need to know your history, folks. I think if you're going to work at Newbury Comics, I feel like you should pass a test. Back in the day, we would go to Newbury Comics on Newbury Street and we'd say, are you guys hiring? Can I have an application? And then they would just point to the enormous pile behind the cashier.
Every other kid who
And
thought
they
they
were
were
like-
cool was trying to work there.
Those are filled out applications.
Yeah.
And I looked right at the girl with the beautiful blue hair and went, okay, thanks, bye. Doug McCormick says that's his favorite Clash record. He has it as a 10-inch record. Wow.
Nobody
You know,
likes a braggart.
Also, do you have it with the block lettering? I know they did a couple different versions of this cover, depending on the releases. So I'm curious to see if you have that.
Oh, well, then
Smitty,
you know it's cool if Smitty was an employee.
an ex-Newbury Comics employee.
Yeah, aren't you from
Wow.
Detroit? When was this?
So many subtle layers coming out of you. Who knew?
You're like an onion.
Michael Maloney couldn't be prouder of the kid. Now he's got to go find a job. Yep, that's what happens when you graduate.
Silly.
So, I don't know where Nikki T is, but I'm telling her right now, she's going to miss out, because really the first thing I want to talk about tonight is how blown away I was by the Netflix limited series about fashion designer Halston, Roy Halston.
Don't say Roy. Come on now.
Nobody called him Roy, but
Nobody knew his first name until you told them all.
oh, he moved here in '85.
Oh, I thought I
Wow,
remembered
okay.
you.
All right, there we go, Smitty.
Which store?
So does anybody raise your hand? Do you even remember Halston? Because I feel like he was a huge American fashion designer. It was like him and Calvin Klein. They were kind of neck and neck. When American fashion was finally taken seriously, and Halston had a lot to do with that. It was also got totally wrapped up in the Studio 54 scene and the partying.
Did all the blow.
He did all the blow. But the fact that he is played by Ewan McGregor, Obi-Wan himself, I was like, there's no way. I think Halston seems so tall and elegant to me, and Ewan just seems not tall and a little scrappy. But he absolutely pulled it off.
Samavola. I was today years old when I found out Halston's first name was Roy.
So it turns out Halston was born in like Missouri or something. Someplace in the middle of nowhere, America, and completely transformed himself throughout the years.
Might have been Indiana.
Yeah, maybe. To the point where you really he talked so fancy, you wouldn't even believe that he was necessarily from a very poor home.
You know, his dad didn't take too kind to him talking fancy neither.
No, and I also didn't know that Halston started in haberdashery, and he's the one that designed Jackie O's pillbox hat.
Well, there you go.
I think my mom wore a pillbox when she got married. I mean, I was there, wink, wink, but not on the outside.
And Bob Dylan wrote a song about it.
Halston wasn't as popular as Cambridge. Oh, I swear to God, Jim Caracotti, you need your own show. Yeah. That was funny. So Halston talked with an effect to his voice, and it wasn't quite as deep as this, but it was as snarky, and he always had a cigarette in his hand.
He doesn't talk like that. He really not doing him justice.
But Ewan does it justice, and I couldn't get over how great it was. The best thing about this whole thing, though, honestly, I watched it with the subtitles on, and the last scene, Halston knows he's going to die. You know,
just ruined it for everybody.
Well, we know he's not alive now.
Now we do.
He knew he was going to, his days were limited. And he decided to drive up and down the Pacific Coast Highway, basically, for like a year.
Listen, I respect that, because that is
awesome. That's great. And his driver, like, he would get out, set up the chair, and Halston would just sit there and have his cigarettes and then get back in, and they drive someplace else. But the final scene, he's sort of remembering everything from his life. It's a big montage. And what is the song playing in the background? It's the Cocteau Twins, Pearly Dewdrops Drop. And the lyrics come up on the screen, and I'm losing my mind. I have never sung a correct lyric to a Cocteau Twins song.
It doesn't matter though, as long as you make the noise. I don't think you
have either. But the fact that it's only 3 or 4 lines in the whole song that she's repeating, and one of the lines is Ruddy Cups, RUDDYCUPS, and Ruddy Cups, over and over and over again. And then, of course, Pearly Dewdrops Drop. and then Ruddy, and Pearly together. My mind was blown. So
that's
was
what
like,
you took out of this.
It was like an extra awesome piece to this already great little slice of American fashion history. And I love when I learn things. You know, you think you know everything.
That's why she's with me, guys. Oh, she learns something every day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I learn about bad choices. I just kidding. He's my unicorn.
Well, I do feel horny, baby.
I'm sorry that I spoiled it, but really, I mean, I think we all know where the Halston story.
That's what you get, Jim Pericotti. You're too smart for your own good, kid.
Yes.
All right, tighten it up.
So anyway, if Nikki T does show up today, she loved Halston as well, and she had notes that she wanted to bring. So who knows?
Maybe I think she's actually typing up the notes right now.
So we got Showtime to watch some things, and
pretty much the thing.
One of the things I started watching was a docuseries on the Comedy Store, and it's actually a pretty decent docuseries. But what it really did was make me mad at the fact that Showtime canceled I'm Dying Up Here, which was only 1 or 2 seasons, but it was about very much the Comedy Store, really, and everybody coming up, and how in the 70s, you know, it was a straight pipeline from the Comedy Store to the Tonight Show. And if you did well at the Comedy Store, you got a chance to go on Carson. And going on Carson meant you were going to be hugely famous, you know? And so if you're into comedy, if you're into, you know, the history of comedy from the 70s and the 80s.
It was funny.
And
it was interesting.
It's really good.
Guys, Jimmy Walker, who played James from the, he played James
JJ.
Jr., right? JJ?
JJ Walker.
From Good Times.
Yes.
Okay, he tells a story about Freddie Prinze. Yeah. That is just, and it involves it involves John Travolta and Freddie Prinze's plot to kill John Travolta.
And the result was arrows in a door.
It shows
a picture.
The actual, no, but it shows the police report filled out by John Travolta. A complaint.
Yeah.
Guys, it's worth it just for that.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug. Jim Pericotti, is that Pauly Shore's family club?
It is. Mitzi is his mom. Yeah,
and most of the documentary is an homage to Mitzi, and how the only thing she wanted in the divorce from Pauly's father was the club. And he thought he was getting the better end of the deal. He was like, okay, here, you can have this crappy club. And she made it into a very huge, successful thing. Mm-hmm. But she also shagged like all the comedians, which was pretty great. Like Pauly Shore, they did
including Pauly?
No, they did a memorial for her at the show, and a lot of people came back that hadn't been in the Comedy Store in a long time. And Pauly gets up and does a few minutes, and he's like, "Oh, look, there's Andrew Dice Clay. You effed my mom, and look, there's so and so. You effed my mom." And like, it's really funny. I actually saw Pauly Shore open up for Sam Kinison.
Wow.
At the North Shore Music Theater. And I cried. I laughed so hard. And yeah. Pauly was actually really funny. He's actually a pretty good stand-up comedian. We were just so inundated with him and all the movies back then that it was like, and the Weasel and the Totally Pauly on MTV. It was crazy. Oh, man. But and I'm just lucky that I got to see Sam Kinison, and I completely forgot how Sam Kinison
I was never a huge fan of Sam Kinison.
How could you not like laugh at that though? I mean, it was just so over the top, and the way he would scream and stop and scream again, like how could you not like just crack up? I mean, it was kind of a one-trick pony.
I laughed a little bit, but it got old, man.
Hey, Ellen, glad you're joining us. There's a great story that Jim Carrey tells about Sam Kinison asking him out in the parking lot, you know, after hours to go party with him.
Yeah, like, and hey, good sit there, man. You know, like,
and Jim Carrey is with his soon-to-be wife,
his girlfriend at the time.
Yeah, and he was like, "Oh, we're just gonna go home and hang out," and Sam just looked at him.
He was like, like this close to him.
It just stared at him, and I think he walked away for a minute, and then he came back and he said, good luck with your compromise, and left and never invited him to anything ever again.
Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah.
And he said that the ride home, Jim Carrey and his girlfriend did not speak at all.
They didn't speak.
Jim Carrey
Because
was
he said it right in front of the
devastated.
girlfriend.
It was basically him saying, like, you've made your choice and you're going to be a loser for the rest of your life.
Detachable penis.
Yeah, and he said it was the worst thing anyone could have ever said to me, but it was so funny. And that's what I love about comedians, is that they're just brutal to each other. And so you do get to see a lot of that.
Do you dislike Joe Rogan less now?
No, I still dislike Joe Rogan. He came out the other day and said that white men are now being persecuted and they have no free speech anymore because of the cancel culture. I'm sorry.
I feel bad for him. I mean, he can't even speak his mind.
Whatever. He's got like the biggest, most popular podcast
in the world. It's like nuts.
But he's also, spouting and allowing other people to spout falsities that everybody believes because they're on Joe's show. So no, I'm not a fan. And I'm also not a fan.
But everybody also smokes weed on his show. So,
we had him in studio at FNX, and I didn't like him at all. Didn't like his vibe. He wanted no part of me in any way, shape, or form. Like there's just, how there's gaydar? Well, there's fatdar as well. And when you're a fat girl and you immediately know that this person is a no fat chicks t-shirt wearing mofo, that's all I needed. And I knew Joe Rogan was one of those people, and I was all set. He was just a hardo, and I wanted no part of it. And I haven't seen any evidence to make me think otherwise.
Moving on.
Anyway, let's talk about some of the stuff that you had a bad experience with the Ithaca Project.
Okay,
let's
guys,
talk about it.
Look, we're sci-fi people, generally speaking, right? There's a lot of sci-fi people out there, right? Am I right? Okay, anyway.
At least 7 out of the 9 that are watching this show right now.
So look, sometimes if you don't gamble, you're never going to know, right? Mm-hmm. And we're supposed to find out stuff. We're supposed to, blaze new trails and let you guys know about stuff to watch.
Right.
I can tell you something not to watch. The Ithaca Project.
What was it on?
It's on one of the streaming services. So it's either it's one of the two. It's either Netflix or Prime. So anyway, the premise seemed kind of interesting to me. Like 4 people wake up and they're on an alien spacecraft that seems to be using their terror, their fear as propulsion, as fuel.
Okay, so did you figure this out in the first few minutes?
No, that's
what it tell you?
I read the thing and I'm like, oh my God, this could be interesting, right? No. The production was really just terrible. The production quality, it looked like,
like an independent.
Yeah, it looked like Steven Spielberg when he was 16. You know what I mean? It maybe not as good. So whenever they had an army supposed general come out, and guys, maybe I'm a jerk. All right. Well, all right. We know I'm a jerk. But what I'm saying is the general comes out and he's talking about, what's going on with the experiment we're doing on these people. And he's got 3 stars on his lapels, but then he's got a sergeant major, the chevrons on his sleeve. And I'm like, that's it. You lost me.
Oh,
he's the general, and the general would have sergeant stripes on his thing with the stars. I was like, that's it.
Okay, so this is where Dave has a little extra something that I don't have, which is he needs his fake sci-fi weirdo shows to be accurate.
It needs to be plausible, guys.
With guns or anything military related or and I always have to sit and remind him, you do realize we're watching a show about an alien spacecraft that is being fueled by people's terror, yet somehow the only thing you can lock into is the fact that whoever made the costume for the sergeant didn't have a military background.
They bought it at an Army Navy
no
store,
idea.
which is cool. That's what I would do. But if I had a general, You got to take that stuff off.
But I do have to remind Dave, almost every time we watch a show like that, Dave, dial it back, because he gets so mad that certain things like that wouldn't happen like that. That thing wouldn't explode like that.
Whoa.
What? I don't know.
Jerry Petrillo is watching this show right now?
What's that?
Hi, Jerry. She's a friend of mine from down Plymouth way.
Oh,
She's a nurse at South Shore Hospital, I believe. Is it South Shore Hospital, Jerry? Anyway, welcome. Yeah, I knew her from the sports days.
When you were
In
coaching.
fact, yeah. And I actually, the weirdest thing was I met her sister at UMass Amherst when I was going there.
And by met, you
And
mean you
no,
drunkenly made out with her?
No,
at a
I didn't.
Party?
It could have happened.
Okay.
I almost went out with her,
Oh.
but I ended up meeting someone else,
Oh.
and that whole thing happened.
Hmm.
And yeah, and here we are.
Well, we're glad you're here. Sam Abola says suspension of disbelief only goes so far.
Right.
That's true.
It has to be
suppose
good.
you're right.
It has to be good.
But
Hey, before
Ellen says Patrick is the same way. Yep.
okay,
Yep.
look at before I forget, because I totally forgot to mention it in our list. What is
Well,
it? It's
we
Love,
have
Death,
the
and
list.
Robots.
Oh yeah, season
Okay,
2 is
it's
out now.
it's an anthology.
You've talked about it on the show before, I think.
Yeah, well, this is the second season. If you haven't seen Love, Death, and Robots, watch it, guys. If you're a sci-fi person, all different kinds of.
Is each episode
They're all
a
and
standalone?
It's like 15 to 20 minutes long, and it just goes into the next one.
Okay.
And they're all produced by different people in different groups. Some really high quality, like animation. There might be some live action, but I think it's mostly animated. All different, from the whole, like, I don't know what you would say, the spectrum of sci-fi.
Okay.
Yeah, excellent.
We also finally got to watch the Go-Go's documentary because that's on Showtime. I haven't been able to watch it. 'Cause we didn't have
Awesome.
it.
It reminded me that I was in love with the Go-Go's.
Yeah, really. And Chris Connolly was on there talking, and he's a pal of mine. And I've actually met and hung out with Kathy Valentine from the Go-Go's in Kay Hanley's backyard. So I felt like I felt like an extra little affinity there because I was like, oh, there's 2 people I know, and they're talking about this awesome thing. And I completely forgot that I had tried to lip sync a Go-Go's tune. If Terry Manning's out there, she was with me. 8th grade talent show. We were dressing up as the Go-Go's and we were going to play fake instruments and lip sync.
Obviously.
But this was before lip syncing was like a thing. And the music director of the show, who was also like the music, teacher or whatever, was like, we can't do that. That's like a copyright thing and it's illegal. And we were like,
we're not
what?
We're not selling it. Did they sell tickets to the talent show?
No, I don't think so. But that was like my Belinda moment, and I didn't get it, and the rest of my life was trash. The end.
Oh my God.
But anyway, the Go-Go's doc is great.
The most amazing thing about this whole the whole Go-Go's thing, besides the fact that Charlotte was on heroin, okay?
Oh my God.
But wait,
wow.
Wait.
Spoiler alert.
Excuse me. You're like the spoiler of worlds. Just shut it, lady. Okay,
I'm the world's spoiler.
The weirdest thing was that Belinda Carlisle's nose was that sharp. She never had surgery on it.
They show pictures of her.
It could cut paper.
Yeah, very young. It's not a nose job, people. I always thought when she went solo and the Mad About You video, which had James Mason's son in it, who she ended up marrying, there was no, first of all, she looked ridiculous. Like, in the best way possible. She looked like a movie siren from like the 40s or something. I mean, in that video, Mad About
yeah.
When she came out with that, it was like a whole new look.
Yeah.
And she had that nose, and she had obviously lost weight in her face. And so everybody thought she got a nose job. And it turns out, no, it was her.
No, she just had like
we gave back her old nose. It was like the Spaceballs moment. No! Dave and I both almost at the same time were like, you know what I really can't believe? Dave was like, you know what really is amazing about this doc? I said, what? He goes, that's really her nose. And I was like, I was just gonna say that. Yeah. So I don't think it delves into the nitty gritty as much as some of us might have liked, because there were a lot of like groupie and whatnot shenanigans that happened.
I would have been one had I been old enough.
Yeah, he was
Just
like licking the screen by the
use
end.
me.
Yeah. Turns out
I still volunteer. If
yeah.
Go-Go's, if you're watching ever, if you're a current member or a former member even, get in touch with me, Dave at
okay.
The Worst Talk Show.
Sure. We'll get that going. We also watched Saturday Night Live this week. We were very excited that Keegan-Michael Key was hosting, and yet
it wasn't. Listen, it wasn't as good as he is.
No,
for whatever
he's
reason.
very funny. And is that because the other dude writing his stuff makes him funnier? Because I felt like, first of all, he needed to sing in almost every sketch.
Yeah, they had him like singing in almost everything.
He's not that good of a singer.
The Muppets thing.
The Muppets
was
thing
funny.
was hilarious.
There's a Muppets thing, guys.
If you can find the Muppet sketch, just skip over everything and watch that. Although Olivia Rodrigo was the musical guest, and of course, we were schooled on Olivia by Kendall a few months ago.
I've heard her on WERS.
Driver's license.
Because I'm hip.
Thing. She was fine. I'm not really into the way she sings.
She starts out real quiet.
Yeah, it's a little too quiet for me. And then she's got that effect of what's her face, Billie
Eilish.
Yeah.
And the thing is like,
and I feel like Billie did it, so maybe you should do something else.
Yeah, do something else. I kind of thought, I was like, I had to ask you if she was British or not.
Not British. Not even a little.
She kind of has an effect like she's trying to have an accent. I'm just saying.
If she's going to stay in this business, and she's also an actress, she's a Disney kid, I believe. If she's going to stay in this business and she's going to grow as a performer, she's not going to end up singing like that because she's putting on an effect.
This is the thing though about her. It's annoyingly quiet in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on, she's crushing the room. Like she can really sing. But if you're like me, sometimes you can get annoyed and be like, yeah, I'm all set. I mean, if she wasn't that lovely to look at, I mean, I would have been like, oh, whatever.
She's a child.
Yeah. Okay, listen,
She's not that lovely to look at.
I didn't touch her, for Christ's sake. Jesus
hey, Mark Finney is here, and he says, I saw Keegan and Oscar Isaac do Macbeth in New York City. He's tremendous. I'm not saying he's not a great actor.
No, we dig him. He's
I
really
also
good.
feel like he would be great as an action hero superstar a la Bruce Willis. The comedy is important, the timing is important, but he does have a face where he could like, and you'd be like, yay!
He's really expressive. We know he's,
I think he should, maybe do something like that. I mean, let's get his agent on the phone and pitch something. Lewis Warren says, yeah, I'm totally not into the affectation of childish mumble.
We don't care.
But I'm practically a boomer now, so no one cares.
Lewis, we love you.
No, but Finney, I'm glad you told me that.
Mark Finney, welcome, sir.
And Lewis wants to know if Keegan went to Yale. Very possible. Very possible. I don't know enough about him, unfortunately.
I can ask my people.
I did get a screener that I watched today for a documentary that's being released.
It was a
next
happy
week.
one, right? Wasn't it like a really happy, sunny one?
No, it's not a happy.
What was it called?
It's called The Final Account. And it's basically a documentary interviewing survivors that were in the Hitler Youth and the SS and were, in Germany, and they were seduced and went into the Nazi regime. And
I felt so bad for them. They were just following orders.
Some of them obviously are very remorseful. There were a lot of guards at the prisons and stuff, but some of them really just didn't.
That one dude.
Yeah, there were
my Lord.
A couple guys that were total denial.
So was Hitler bad? No.
Yeah.
What?
But it's a documentary that when it comes out, I feel like it's almost required viewing. It is all subtitles because it's in German, and I know you're like, but it's important.
Listen,
and
wow.
Powerful, really powerful. And I'll talk about that again a little bit next week when it finally comes out. But yes, Mark Finney says Keegan did go to Yale.
Thank goodness we've got you doing the research there, mister.
Finn. Also, I like your new haircut. I noticed that you.
Whoa! He's got a new haircut. No one told me.
Well, it's not new, but he got his haircut and he looks fabulous.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, how good is it? I mean, is it really good?
Sometimes people don't think that I pay attention to their social media posts, but I do. And I try to let everybody know because I think it's important.
Do I have competition? You want to go, guy?
I love Benny, don't get me wrong. And if the two of you are in a room together, I can't be held responsible. But I think we're good, honey. Honestly.
You're just saying that because you love me.
I do love you quite a bit, actually. Dave rewatched a Spike Lee joint, one of my favorites.
I watched School Days last night, guys.
Have you guys watched that in a long time or ever?
I haven't either. I was just like, wow, I hate Ithaca Project so much.
that you need something to cleanse the palate.
I need like a sorbet moment. So
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? Dean, Big Brother Almighty. So.
You're just a wannabe better than me. The songs that were written for that were very catchy. Some of them, of course, as a white lady, I cannot sing out loud in public, and that's totally fine. But the dancing, the step
that was
battles
cool.
Was amazing. And at the time, I was in college when that came out, and there was
1988.
so much I didn't know. Especially they were at an all-black college.
Yeah, it was
as
made
well.
up. It was a fictitious college.
Growing up where I grew up, we didn't know that those were a thing.
Historically black colleges.
Yeah, I
is
really,
that?
That's not something
I might have heard of
they
Grambling.
told us about.
I might have heard of Grambling because of sports, because of football. They had like a big streak back in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe Howard because of
Yeah,
The
I
Cosby
might have,
Show.
yeah,
you know what I mean?
sure. Then that's definitely, but it was the movie. It was kind of a groundbreaking movie, and I don't think it gets enough
Well,
credit.
it's got
so,
quite a cast.
I would definitely check it out if you haven't, or if you just haven't seen it
It's
in
a
a long
little,
time.
I mean, it's funny at parts. Dude, Branford Marsalis is in it, and he's like so young. Oh my god!
Oh, I forgot. There's a couple other Showtime shows that we've been watching. City on a Hill. I know we talked about it last week. Season number 2 is not disappointing at
It's
all.
better than the first season.
So much better than the first season.
Just our humble opinion.
Also, the L
Kevin
Word.
Bacon, call me.
The L Word, Generation Q. I binged in like a day, maybe 2.
Yeah, and then she went to her room for like the whole rest of the day.
Not true at all.
Locked the door and was
The
like,
only problem with
I'm knocking on the
watching
door. She'd be like, leave me alone. And I heard this like it was like corduroy. You know that noise?
When you're watching the L Word, just make sure that the volume is low or you have your headset up, because there's an awful lot of sex and there's an awful lot of moaning.
Oh
and
my God, there's a
people
lot
are
of
walking
sex?
back and forth, in the house, and I'm like, mute. But I love the original L Word, and I love.
What
the
can I
reboot.
say? She's into lesbians.
I love lesbians. It's my new jam.
Listen, you're making Ellen feel bad. She doesn't have Showtime.
Oh, Ellen, I'm sorry. You could do a week free and check some of these shows out, though.
City on a Hill, kid. You can watch that in 2 days.
Yeah, it's very good. The Bruins. We actually watched a Bruins game.
Okay, we had your dad over.
So here's the thing. Since my mom passed away, Dad has been keeping as busy as possible, but there are certain days when things, get low and slow and lonely. And a few weeks back, he had called. He's like, "Hey, I'm thinking about coming over. I'm just kind of, lonely." And I was like, "Dad, come on over."
Wait a minute.
And we talked about this.
It was totally my idea.
No,
How do I not get credit?
Yeah. And he canceled that day. And then you said, "Let's have him over tomorrow." So we made it for Monday.
And I'll cook on the grill.
Yeah. So now we're going 3 weeks strong.
Yeah.
Where it's now Monday nights with Papa, with my dad.
He's like, "I'll see you on Monday."
Yeah. And
Right?
Dave cooks, and we sit around. We either watch a movie or a TV show, or if there's sports on, we're watching sports.
Well, the thing is that we don't have cable. So we only have access to certain games. But now that the NHL playoffs have started, they're national. Everything's national.
Right.
So we don't have Nesson right now because we don't have cable. But now we can watch Bruins playoff games.
We don't pay extra for it, because we have to pay extra for Premier League, and that's
we
all
just
we
got
can
rid of.
afford right now.
Yeah.
But
Anyway, what a week this week.
the playoff game was phenomenal, and I forgot that watching the Bruins
I screamed at the TV.
is
so much.
like, first of all, I grew up with a dad who screamed at the television constantly. Dave screams during sports events.
I haven't watched the Bruins like in a while.
Because I grew up with it. So to have my dad on my right and Dave on my left, and the two of them are screaming at the Bruins game. It's a playoff game, but any hockey game is a heart attack on a plate. You're on the edge of your seat the whole time, and the adrenaline and the anxiety is like sky high, right? You can't casually watch a hockey game. But it was so much fun, and I felt like, you know, my brothers aren't always around for my dad to watch sports with, and
this week was a really good one, though.
Yeah, it was.
I set up the tent outside. We had the fake grass in the driveway. I had the fire pit going, so that when he got there, it was just sit in a chair. You know, we brought out the best plastic tablecloth that I stapled to the underside of the table.
The very best.
It was
plastic.
nothing but the best.
Finney, we talked about Halston already. You
we did.
Come in late.
Yes.
I gushed all over it. I love it so much. And I'm urging everybody to watch it. It was fantastic. And the lyrics on the subtitles for the Cocteau Twins at the end was worth its weight in gold.
Oh my God.
I know it's silly to talk about, but I'm talking about it. So let's get to music. We've got the virtual Atomic Fest fundraiser for Boston venues coming up.
What do you mean, the virtual Atomic Fest fundraiser for Boston venues?
And Dave and I have been working very hard on our co-host intro duties. And
she did all the work. I was kind of a mess up.
But we've also learned some of the cover songs that certain artists are performing.
I know something. I won't tell. I won't tell.
Can we just tease a little bit? Let's just say that somebody does a Juice Newton cover. Oh my God.
That's it.
Like, I'm yeah. So Smitty, if you could put the stuff up again for the 27th, that would be groovy. It is a benefit. It helps save our stages. It's for all the venues in Boston. And, you know, we're some of the co-hosts. There are many co-hosts.
Many.
And we're very honored to be a part of it again. But it's going to be great. And I'm excited. And there are a lot of familiar faces and bands and artists. And I think you guys are really going to dig it. So Ellen says, funny thing, my dad watched sports with the sound off, so we never knew what was going on. Really? You know,
he liked to do the play-by-play in his head.
My dad would watch the Red Sox, turn the volume down, and
put the radio on.
The radio, because he much preferred them to call the game.
Listen, especially if it was a nationally televised game. Yeah. Joe Buck.
Oh, let's not even. Can we just not
Tim McCarver.
Let's not mention Joe Buck's name like in this house. It's bad. No.
Well, I mean, oh my Lord, right? It was just horrible to watch Fox do baseball. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's just not good. So, but having the
little
sound
Joe Castiglione
at all,
Jerry Trupiano. Yeah, they got a new guy. I forget his name, but Joe Castiglione is still doing it, and they trade off. Yeah, which is great. And they had Lou Merlone on, I think, as like the third wheel, and it was good, you know. So,
the other big music fundraiser that happened last night was Hot Stove Cool Music, the second virtual concert that we've had since the pandemic.
That was really well done.
To raise money. It was the first one during the pandemic was a little loosey-goosey.
This was
kind of
precise.
All over the place. This was great.
It was concise, to the point. I mean, it was enjoyable.
Very enjoyable. First of all, Eddie Vedder played. And I don't know if Matt Lambert's watching, but he could do the play-by-play for us. I know he was there. He's
thank you, Jim Pericotti. F. Joe Buck is right.
Pearl Jam fan ever. But I thought Eddie did a great job. I thought Will Daly did good. Juliana Hatfield, Kay Hanley, and then Tom Polchi ended up kind of hosting a little bit too.
They were great together.
Yeah, really good.
I was like, wow, is this a new morning show?
I would subscribe to this channel immediately. And Bernie Williams played. He's that guy.
The former Yankee great outfielder Bernie Williams is a heck of a guitar player.
He really is.
Likes that jazz guitar.
And then the band French Lick, which of course means Larry Bird, except that Larry Bird's not in the band, but the owner of the Celtics is the drummer.
Wick Grosbeck plays drums.
Yeah, and they were doing
Georgia Satellites
or whatever. Oh yeah,
Georgia Satellites.
Yeah. but it was just funny. I'm like, that's the owner of the Celtics. And he's like, just playing the drums.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Well, when you got a gazillion dollars, you can pretty much do what you want.
I believe the auction is still open, and there are experiences, there's sports memorabilia, there's rock and roll memorabilia. Just go to, you can just Google Hot Stove Cool Music, or you can go to the foundation to be named later. That's the actual name of the fundraising foundation. And yes, Kay Henley is a founding member of Hot Stove. So we're usually always there and
To give
as
you an
involved
idea.
as we can possibly be.
All right, here's the thing. The way I knew it was good was the last song they did. Okay.
The Hot Stove All-Stars.
Supertramp, I was never into them. In my opinion, my humble opinion.
They're yacht rock.
I always felt they were soft.
They're soft.
Like really whiny voices and soft kind of.
I agree.
They did, what is it? Give a little bit.
Give a
What is
little
that called?
bit
Anyway.
of your love.
And guys, they just kept adding people.
Yeah.
It started with
Chris
Tom and
Cody is in there. Like,
and he was awesome, dude.
Chris Cody is one
Chris
of
Cody.
the best vocalists.
Chris
in
Cody,
this
if you're out
town,
there, I want to be your friend.
if not the best. He's just got pipes for days, man.
Yeah. Mhm.
And Kay's singing. Michelle Lewis was there. I know that Andrea Gillis and Mark Pernansky were in the other Hot Stove All-Star song that they played earlier. I'm not sure if they were in that one. Dean Falcone on the acoustic.
Dino Falcone.
Fantastic.
Oh, Greg Hawkes.
Greg Hawkes adds
playing
some
the
keys.
keys.
It's really good. So
Yeah.
if there's a way to watch it and maybe donate a few bucks,
Yeah,
that'd be
do
great.
it. Do it.
Definitely do that. And then finally, the big thing to talk about is that we finally broke down and got an air fryer. What? We got the Ninja air fryer, and it's the one that has the dual baskets. And I've already cooked several things in it, and I'm very excited because I'm trying to not cook with oil or butter, which was always my MO, like a lot of it.
We're on a diet, guys.
No, we're not on a diet.
All right,
It is not a diet. It is a new lifestyle.
It's a total lifestyle change.
Okay. Because we're not going back in the other direction.
Okay, just
like
FYI, guys, you can't fry ice cream in it.
I did some salmon. I did some sausages. We've done chicky nuggies for Kendall. What else did I make?
Broccoli.
The broccoli, it's a little touch and go as far as
we gotta figure it out. It's brand new.
The timing is
brand new,
and the temperature, because even though there's a little pamphlet that comes with some suggestions,
who reads
it's
that
not
crap?
always correct. It's a little trial.
I usually
and
take
error.
that out of the box and throw it away.
But perfectly cooked salmon in under it was about 6 minutes.
6 minutes
and crispy.
6 minutes.
Air fryer.
6 minutes, salmon fresh. You're wrong.
Sorry. I'm a true believer. I'm absolutely into the air fryer.
Wait a minute. You're a true believer? What did we leave out?
What?
60 Minutes this week?
Oh my God, did you guys see 60 Minutes this week? They confirmed what we already told you a couple weeks ago. UFOs.
The truth is out there.
Are real. Although we call them UAPs now, apparently. Unidentified aerial phenomena. But the guy that we talked about was on. And they had two of the pilots on talking about one of the events where this tic-tac shaped spaceship,
vessel,
whatever,
object,
over water, acting very strangely, and they went down to take a closer look, and it came up as they were going down, and it disappeared right in front of one of the fighter jets and showed up on radar 60 miles away like 3 or 4 seconds later. And you're just like, oh my God. So,
it's like Flight of the Navigator over here.
Yeah, it really is. I don't know who actually wrote Flight of the Navigator, but I'm pretty sure they were kidnapped by aliens because it's just too good. The way the ship contorts itself,
reacts, and
the
whole thing.
That it's all mirrored, so you can't really see
it reflects everything around it. So
it really had some things in there that
it's well thought out.
Think. Yeah,
the shape of it, like I've always said, there's got to be one absolute perfect aerodynamic shape.
Right.
Okay. Whether it's a car, that's why all the cars look alike, guys. There's one shape that is perfect for aerodynamics.
Mm-hmm.
And that ship was so perfect. It looked like a flying almond, only it was made out of like chrome.
And did Pee Wee Herman do the voice of the
Oh, I don't remember
alien
that.
thing?
I
I just remember it always said compliance. We watched that movie a lot
okay, wait a
in my
minute.
house.
Speaking of
Yeah, it was
speaking
Paul
of old
Rubens.
speaking of old sci-fi stuff,
Yes.
I was thinking that maybe something we could do is that I wanted to make a reference, a really like kind of subtle, possibly reference, old obscure reference, and whoever gets it, we send them a prize.
Oh, okay, so Dave has come up with a contest. Here we go.
All right, you ready? Somebody tell me. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yes.
Listen up.
Okay.
Tell me what this is from. What show? Spin Saucer, Rainbow Beam.
No idea. Spin Saucer, Rainbow Beam?
Yes, they're the weapons that got used. So when he used them, he would say what they were.
And it's not from Flash Gordon.
No.
We were doing lines from that movie the other day.
Hawkmen, dive.
UFO, Holly Cantor says.
No.
Yeah, that's not the correct answer. So
It was a cartoon, guys.
Oh, wait, you didn't say it was a
It was a cartoon.
So it was a sci-fi cartoon movie
Yes.
or series?
No, it was a series. I used to rush home every day from like grammar school and watch it. Nope.
Ethan's guessing Mad Max. That's not it. Oh, was it the Japanese one with the 3 dudes?
Oh, very close, Lewis Warren. Very close, but I need the answer. I need the name. Because there were a lot of Japanese shows with 3 dudes.
So, Thunderbirds?
Not Thunderbirds. Holly.
Okay, all right.
Not G-Force either.
I remember.
Oh, wait,
G-Force,
wait.
though. Was it G-Force?
What was the specific? Now wait a minute. G-Force. That was Battle of the Planets, right? With the Phoenix and the thing and the ducks. People with the bird. suits on.
Ellen, Powerpuff Girls.
No,
is
not
incorrect.
Powerpuff Girls. That's a little after my time.
Lewis Warren says most of them had 5,
Right.
like main characters.
Yeah.
This is Japanimation, right?
It's yeah. One of the shows was, let me see, Guy King. That wasn't the show though.
Ellen is now guessing Dragon Ball Z, which is also
No, it's a little
incorrect.
after us too.
Lewis, was it the one that also had toe projectiles?
He had a fist. He could shoot his fists off. And he was either a giant robot thing, or he could be coupled with his saucer. And there were wings that came off, and the spin saucers shot off with blades on them.
So was it kind of like Transformers?
It was pre-Transformers.
And you would run home from school?
I would run home from school.
Channel 56? Or 38?
Yeah, I think it might have been 56. I
Okay.
think so.
Voltron.
No, it's pre-Voltron.
Jim Pericotti, you are not correct. Holly Cantor says Gigantor.
No.
Holly, you're just Googling now, aren't you?
Grandizer! Mark Finney, you win it! Grandizer, go!
I love
Spin
it.
Salsa, Rainbow Beam! I love that.
I've never heard of that show.
Okay, Grandizer, yes. Grandizer! Grandizer, go! Oh, man.
So what are we going to send
We
Finny?
totally have to hang out, Finney. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Even if you looked that up just now, if you can get it from what I said, you're the man. What can I say?
But what object? What?
Oh, no, it's a
fun
mystery.
thing-
It's a mystery
Oh,
prize.
Okay, we're not going to tell him.
No.
All right. Finn, I need you to direct message me your address, please, so we can mail it to you. Or better yet, you could come here.
What?
I mean, we do have a cool music store right across the street as well.
I just got my second shot yesterday, and I
Well-
feel it.
Well, which means he has to wait 2 weeks.
Yeah, we need to plan. We can't just have a celebrity come up here.
Oh, Smitty just.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Smitty is now posting pictures of said
Grandizer,
character.
go! And the rainbow beam came out of his chest. It was like triangular shaped. So figure that out. That was like pre
No,
you
Mark
know,
and Mark Finney did not look it up. He said Channel 56. I'm a nerd. Well, that's why we love you, Finn. Oh, and he's vaccinated too. I will. Excellent. Just
so what is the gift? Can
text
I do
me
that?
and we'll work it all out. I don't think the GIF is going to work
I'm
right
afraid.
now for us on our iPad, but we can look at it later.
So there was Force 5, right? There was War of the World, Battle of the Planets, Force 5. There were other shows. The Force 5 was, I needed it more specific. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So Guy King, Grandizer, and then it was like the Paladins. What were the other? Finney, if you remember, fill me in on what the other ones were. They were like the three guys, like the fat guy, the skinny guy, and the other guy, the three amigos in space.
Smitty says he ran home to watch stuff too, for this stuff too. That's cool.
Really?
Yeah. The only thing I ever ran home from was when Luke and Laura got married on General Hospital.
Oh yeah.
That was kind of it. That was totally a chick thing.
That's
Sorry.
so lame. I mean, running home for cartoons is right on. Running home for like soap operas. When did you get out of school, for crying out loud? A soap opera happens during school.
No, General Hospital was on at 3:00 every day. That's why we were all into it, because we could watch it after school.
Luke and Laura suck.
How dare you?
Oh, speaking of old crap that people used to watch and listen to, did I hear something about like Maddie in the Morning today?
Yeah, I started getting a bunch of text messages that Maddie quit the show this morning. First of all, Maddie was making fun of Demi Lovato coming out as gender fluid. Not a good look for a 71-year-old white dude.
Yeah.
But his boss, who used to be my boss, and probably people higher than him, called him and said, you got to stop. You got to stop making fun of her. It's not okay. And suddenly Maddie turned into Howard Stern. How dare you censor me?
I'm edgy.
And when this huge thing, like, we have soft, regular morning shows.
Wait
That's
a
what
minute.
Magic and Mix has. And
Wait
I
a
was
minute.
like,
I'm bigger than Jess Kane.
oh yeah.
I'm bigger than Dave Maynard.
He said he was the biggest Boston radio personality of all time. And how dare they tell him to shut up, and that's it. It's over. He's done. And then
Space Cateers.
And then of course,
The three guys.
hours later, he gives a quote to Boston.com that says, "Oh, it'll probably blow over. They don't want me to leave, and I'm sure I'll realize I'm walking away from millions of dollars." And it's like, that's a cop out.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I feel about any of that. Every time you hear something like that, as a professional radio personality, you immediately think that's a bit, because everything's a bit in radio, as I've told you before. Believe nothing. But that seemed pretty legit, because he really went off the ego ledge there. And
I mean, Sammy's
So,
saying
I
that,
don't know.
it's an excuse to fire him because he's way too expensive.
well, I mean, is he too expensive? Has he sort of priced himself out of the job? Probably. But they have gone above and beyond to give him everything he wants, including broadcasting for half the year from his place in Florida. He's not even
Which is
here.
just
half the
weird.
time.
I mean,
That
I can't-
happens.
since the third grade, when I used to hear Maddie in the Morning, when I was forced to listen to it occasionally, riding to school with my cousins.
Right.
Okay. Hated them. Okay. And
Yeah, I'm sorry, Ellen. I did shatter
my
your
God.
vision of radio. Mike Joshua, thank you again for another successful 80s night, by the way, Mikey.
Michael, we love you.
That was great. Maddie is 71. Yes, Ellen, Maddie is 71. And he's been on since 1981 or something. It's been a long time. It's the funny thing for me was just how he was talking about how he's such an edgy personality, and how dare
edgy.
they
More like-
censor him.
More
And
like
I was
crotchety.
and the fact that he threw
Geriatric.
morning shows from Magic and Mix under the bus as soft, and I was like, you're
invented
a
soft.
mom morning show.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
you invented soft, man.
You don't even know the music that you play right now. You have no interest in it, and that's fine. He's a huge personality. People listen to him until they die, and I understand that. That's why he makes all the money. But for him to suddenly be like, I don't believe in gender fluid, and she's just I was just like, oh no, dude. I have a 16-and-a-half-year-old daughter who schools me daily about all the stuff we don't know. And you can poo-poo that, but that is their truth. That is their reality. They're getting rid of gender as a necessity. You don't, their generation will be the one that says there's no more box check on gender.
Like it should just be like, I hate to say it, like Star Trek. It's just like any sex, any alien, anything at all can be anybody, you know, and everybody's doing that thing.
And pop culture.
And who's to say they're not right?
Can't make fun of the meat and potatoes of your content. Jim Paracotti, absolutely correct. And, you know, you can make fun. It's not like we don't make fun of people on morning shows, but there's a line. And I think you have to read the room. And that line is not to be crossed right now. There are too many, you know, kids that are having gender identity issues that are killing themselves.
They're like eating their hearts out on a daily basis.
And committing suicide at an alarmingly high rate.
Isolation. Yeah. You know, nobody to talk to about it.
So I'll get off the soapbox now, but as far as that stuff goes, I don't think it was a bit, but I do think they'll have some sort of statement and
they'll walk it back.
Yeah. Nope. Unless the alphabet mafia that Demi Lovato referred to earlier, unless that Generation Z and the LGBTQ community go after the show, which is the possibility, they could essentially cancel him. And if that happened,
wow, that'd be a real loss for Boston radio.
They'd free up a lot of money to hire some more people. So I don't know. I just think it's
they'll hire 4 part-timers.
It's not a good look for you know, a 71-year-old white guy to be giving you know, Demi Lovato crap about coming out as you know, non-binary. Sorry, just not a good look. So that's my take on the Maddie in the Morning thing. But I guess everybody will have to tune in tomorrow to find out what happened.
So look, I have to get...
says Star Trek is
greater than Maddie.
Greater than Maddie, and you're not wrong there. Absolutely.
Listen, Finny, Star Vengers. Now I got to look this up. What about Star Blazers, which was Battleship Yamato? Right? That was an awesome one.
Completely lost.
That was an awesome one.
I don't know.
I used to be like, fighting with the Gamelons, we won't stop until we won. When we return, we are the Earth will survive with our Star Blazers. Derek Wildstar and Princess Nova. Oh man!
If you've ever wondered
the Argo,
what makes Dave and I such a good couple and why we're unicorns for each other, we were both pretty much babysat by television.
Wave motion gun, am I right? Am I right?
It was like, the grownups are busy. We can't pay any attention to you. Let's put you in front of the television. And that's why we are who we are. But I don't know any of these shows. I was too busy watching like The Price is Right with my mom or whatever. Finny, we're going deep now. I brought it back, Finny. I brought it back.
The Comet Empire.
I don't like
Death
to
Block.
Get, you know, political or anything. Any non animated shows that you would run home to see, or was it all animated stuff?
Maybe the Banana Splits. I don't know.
La 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 la.
Because you can count that as non-animated because of Danger Island.
My dad used to do the
Chongo.
Chongo, I remember. Yeah. My dad used to do the Banana Splits dance where, you know, your legs kind of come out from under you. And he would do it for my cousins and they would beg for him to do it. Yeah. And then he did it once and he fell and like bruised his tailbone or something. And it's like one of those stories, one of those family stories we tell constantly. But the Banana Splits rocked.
They recently made a horror movie.
Right.
With the Banana Splits as the antagonist.
Right? Yeah. Yes. And we never watched that. We really should. Dark Shadows, never got into it.
Croft Superstars, we could say like Sigmund the Sea Monster.
Sid and Marty Croft, right? Yeah. Sigmund the Sea Monster, and what was the
HR Puffin stuff would be, I wouldn't run home for that.
That's the one with Dodger from Oliver,
right?
Okay.
I believe so.
Yeah.
The Bugaloos, never really watched that. How about
Witchy Poo, right? Wasn't Witchy Poo part of Sigmund and the Sea Monster or one of those? It was all part of the Sid and Marty Croft.
Yeah, I don't know.
Power.
I don't know.
Space Nuts. Don't remember Space Nuts.
Space Nuts. I gotta look it up.
You know what we were talking about the other day?
Slee Stacks. That would be
the Slee Stacks was Land of the Lost.
Land of the Lost.
Yeah,
that's another one, right?
To this day, I see a Slee Stack, I run in the other direction.
Marshall, Will, and Holly.
Alex is in Long Beach. which is where they shot True Blood. And anytime they had that club scene, it was at Alex's in Long Beach, California.
Fantasia.
Yeah, they have a sleeve stack behind the bar, and you're sitting there
Who
and
just
having a
died?
beverage, and you're like, "Oh my
Who just died?
god, she just died. Who just died?" Let's go back.
Witchy Poo. Maybe Witchy
Oh,
Poo?
okay. I don't know. The Lewis Warren, the Bugaloos were my jam. Witchy Poo was part of HR Puffin
In the
stuff. Okay.
land of the lost.
Chaka.
Oh my God, Chaka. I
Hey,
hated
Chaka influenced
Worst
members
thing.
of Nirvana. I mean,
Worst
it's
part
in
of the show.
it's in the it's on. Is it on Dave Grohl's shirt? Chaka. It's in Smells Like Teen
Greatest earthquake
Spirit.
ever known. How about toys?
Oh, Witchy Poo died.
Micronauts. Micronauts?
Nope.
Anyone? Okay. Mac Commanders.
All right,
Fisher Price Adventure People.
it's 8:30, Dave.
That's it. Let's wrap it up.
We're done here.
I have to go play with my toys.
Okay. We love you guys. Thank you so much. And thanks everybody who hit up the Venmo tip jar at DJ NGC last week. It was much appreciated. You helped with the underwriting to keep the show going. And thank you all for being part of the show tonight. The entire episode with an intro and outro and all the links will be available this weekend on our show, as well as on the Abington Cam YouTube page. More importantly, I will post the links on Friday to all the recommendations, and you can check your local listings for the community access channel viewings of our show.
You
Go
mean they
ahead.
can make this more refined than it already is?
Yes. I know. Imagine that. We love you guys. Good night.
Nighty night.